All right, welcome back, everyone. We're ready for another deep dive, and this time, we're tackling something that I think is absolutely essential for any project to really succeed,
Oh, yeah.
and that's team spirit.
Yeah.
And so, kind of our jumping on point for this deep dive is this book, Project Management for Project Managers by Orlando Casabone.
Okay.
And so I'm really curious to kind of explore with you today, like, what really works when it comes to boosting team spirit? Like, what creates that lasting sense of unity that you really need to get a project, over the finish line?
When we talk about projects, we often get lost in the details, budgets and timelines and, and deliverables.
Right.
But it's really the human element. It's the kind of the glue that holds it all together.
Totally.
The camaraderie, the shared sense of purpose.
The buy-in.
The buy-in, that's
know.
the stuff that can really make or break a project.
Absolutely. And so the source material kind of lays out a few different options,
Yeah.
for fostering that team spirit, things like making sure the roles and responsibilities are super clear, organizing a team building activity at the start of a project,
Right.
even formally inserting authority, like saying, hey, I'm the boss here, but then there was this one that really kind of jumped out at me, and it was regularly sharing meals with team members. And I'm just curious, like, that almost seems too simple, to be effective. So what are your thoughts on that one?
I think it's a great point because, when you first think about it, you're like, really sharing meals, is that all it takes? But I think when you look a little deeper, you start to understand the psychology behind it. I mean, like, sure, transparency and defined roles, they're important. You need to have that foundation.
Yeah.
But they don't necessarily create those deep bonds. Those personal connections and team building activities, those can be fun. We've all been there. We do the trust falls and we play the games. But the effect of those can be very fleeting.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a sugar rush, and then it wears off, and then asserting authority, that can actually create distance.
Right. Yeah.
It can hinder that sense of equality.
Absolutely.
That you really need for true collaboration.
It creates that hierarchy right away.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm really fascinated by this idea of shared meals. Like, what is it about that specifically that you think is so powerful when it comes to team dynamics?
Well, we're humans, right? And we're social creatures, and we've been gathering around food, for millennia. It's kind of in our DNA, I mean, think about it throughout history. Important decisions were made,
Right.
Alliances were forged.
Over meal.
Conflicts were resolved over a shared meal. It's a very primal thing, and it creates a level playing field where the hierarchies kind of fade away, and you start to see your colleagues, as individuals, as people, not just, job titles.
Right.
You're sharing stories, you're laughing, you're maybe debating, the best dish on the menu.
Right. It's like you're seeing their personality.
Exactly. And these shared experiences, they build trust. And trust is really the bedrock of any high-performing team.
It's so true, because we've all done the trust falls and seen them fall flat, right?
Right.
But imagine the trust that you build when, like, your teammates' go-to comfort food.
Exactly.
Or their hilarious take on some, restaurant mishap.
Exactly.
Like, that's a bond that you just can't force.
Yeah.
Through some kind of structured activity.
And there's even research, that shows that in formal settings, like, sharing a meal can trigger the release of oxytocin, which is, the bonding hormone.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
And that can lead to increased empathy and cooperation and a sense of belonging. And those are the ingredients, that fuel creativity and problem solving and ultimately project success.
Absolutely. So it's less about, manufactured team building and more about cultivating this authentic human connection.
Exactly. Yeah. And the impact, it goes beyond just the immediate project too.
Right.
These bonds that you form, they can lead to lasting relationships, mentorship opportunities, and just, a more positive and supportive work environment overall.
For sure. Well, this has been so insightful. I feel like I've learned a lot today, and I think the takeaway is pretty clear for anyone out there listening who's looking to really foster that true team spirit.
Yeah.
Ditch the forced fun and opt for genuine connection.
Yeah.
And a great place to start, share a meal.
I think that's a great takeaway. And, for a deeper dive into this and other powerful project management strategies, I highly recommend Project Management for Project Managers by Orlando Casabon.
Yeah, it's a must read.
It's a treasure trove of practical wisdom.
Absolutely. And to our listeners, as you head back to your projects, consider this. How can you bring a bit more of that shared humanity, that breaking bread, into your team's dynamic? It might just be the secret ingredient to unlocking your team's full potential. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
It was fun. Take care.
You too.
Bye.